Alright guys, we finally have a confirmation on the Boom Studios panel for San Diego Comic-Con. Now, this is going to be a little bit of sad news with what Boom Studios put out in this tweet, but hey, we can put our heads up high and hope that we'll see something Power Rangers comic related in the future, even if it's not from Boom. So, Boom Studios put out this tweet, and they tweeted this out by saying, after 8 years and over 120 issues, the Boom Studios Power Rangers universe is coming to an end, but not without a few final surprises. Join Melissa Flores, writer of the cinematic Darkest Hour event, alongside iconic Ryan Parrott, the original Pink Ranger Amy Jo Johnson, and the original Black Ranger Walter Jones, for a behind-the-scenes peek at the final issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and an exclusive look at what's next. Moderated by Matt Hodson, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return. So, let's dissect this tweet down a little bit. So, after 8 long years, the Power Rangers Boom Studios universe is coming to an end. So, this is the end of the mainline comic for the Boom Studios books. Now, in recent event, there was a shake-up at Boom Studios. They did sell the company to Penguin House Random Publishing. So everything's up in the air with where things will go from there. And there's also something that I want to bring up that I sort of remembered in the Legacy of Nerd video I watched. When the Boom Studio comics were coming out, that was during the early Neo Saban era days, or 5 years into their run, you could say. And a lot of those contracts have expired over the past couple of years, like the Netflix one, that expired where they took all of Power Rangers off Netflix in 2021, I believe, mostly because, that deal was made to be a 10-year contract. And I'm guessing that the Boom Studios contract is coming to a close as well. Because a lot of people said that the Power Ranger comics were cancelled after Darkest Hour. But Melissa did say that Darkest Hour, she was brought on to do Darkest Hour as the final run of the comics. So maybe they were planning this ahead, that this would be the end of it. But we don't know what the future is. So let's go over who's at this panel. So Melissa's going to be there. That makes sense. She's been the writer for the past couple of years. And she's doing Darkest Hour, so she's going to talk about the surprises that she'll reveal. Ryan Parrott worked on the comics for the longest time, from Go-Go Power Rangers to Necessary Evil to issue 100 before the Melissa run, so I think Ryan was on the comics for about 5 to 4 years, I think, if I remember correctly. A while. He was working on it for a while, plus he did a bunch of other stuff. Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger, of course, she announced that she's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con as well. And Walter Jones, kind of a weird one. I mean, I'm not complaining. I've got nothing against Walter. He did sort of do the live table read for Shattered Grid back in the day. But hey, you got to have some original Power Rangers representing the panel. And Walter is aware of some of the comic stuff from the Fanwood where he reacts to the Six Ranger videos and stuff like that. There's that going on. And a behind-the-scenes peek at the final issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which would be Darkest Hour issue 1, because the week that San Diego Comic-Con happens is when issue 122 comes out. And when 122 comes out is when we see the solicitations for October. Now, a lot of people have said online and in other YouTube comment sections that I'm coping and stuff like that because the comics are ending, or I'm having a cry about it. In a way, you could say, yeah, I kind of am, because I'm not breaking down and crying, but it is sad to see because, we've got no Power Ranger toys, no Power Ranger TV shows, and now the comics are ending. And the comics, for the longest time, even when the show was on hiatus during the breaks that Nick would do or Netflix would do in between seasons, the comics were the only form of new Power Rangers content coming out each month. And although not a lot of people enjoyed the comics or they didn't read the comics, it was still new Power Rangers content we were getting each month, whether you liked it or not. It wasn't the show, but it was new Power Rangers content. and to see it come to a close is kind of sad. But let me go over what they said. The final issues of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and an exclusive look at what's next. So, from what we know so far, which is what's next, is we've got Ranger Academy still going on, but Ranger Academy is ending on issue 12. So, issue 9 comes out in August, issue 10 will come out in September, issue 11 October, and issue 12 in November, December, unless they take a break in between. So, we've got that going on. Now, like I said, solicitations come out on the weekend that Comic-Con happens. So that's when they do their big reveal for what's coming out in the next couple of months, which makes sense. Will we see something Power Rangers related for Boom Studios with whatever they've got planned? I honestly don't know. But you also got to remember that Boom Studios has almost... they've still got to put everything else out in hardcover form and everything else out in their Kickstarters that they did for the return Kickstarter that I backed and a lot of people backed. And then, of course, we've still got hardcovers coming out, which will take us into next year. Plus, they re-release it in softcover form. So Boom Studios is still putting out Power Rangers content, which I hope they don't cancel, because we've got hardcovers for almost all of Mighty Morphin / Power Rangers, and you could do hardcovers for Darkest Hour and Recharged for them, because they're 12-issue series, plus having the series in between it. You would have that going on in there. So I feel like that Boom Studios still has stuff to put out when it comes to Power Rangers. It's just we don't know what's going to happen next. Now, I've heard a lot of rumblings and a lot of speculations that people think that the Power Ranger comics will move to a different publisher, that being Moonsoft or whatever it is, the people who put out the G.I. Joe and the Transformer comics, which from what I've heard, they're really fire, they're really good. So that way, those series are under Hasbro, Transformers and G.I. Joe. So we would have them, Power Rangers, be under that banner. And if that did happen, I wouldn't be mad, because that means Power Rangers would be joining the Transformers and G.I. Joe universe, that extended universe that Hasbro wants to do. So I wouldn't mind that at all. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, because we've still got content coming out from Boom, Power Rangers Infinity, and the Usagi Jumbo story. Jawumbo? President Jawumbo? But we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, it is kind of a tear-jerker moment to bring up when you talk about something you've been talking about on the channel for years at this point, because I'm the Power Ranger comics guy, and it's sad to see that there won't be any new mainline book to talk about for a while, possibly, which is kind of sad to see. Now, I do have other projects in the works when it comes to Power Ranger comics. I've talked about this behind the scenes with other content creators and stuff like that. I've still got stuff in the works that I'm still going to probably put out. It will probably just be longer form videos that I'm definitely experimenting with. If you saw me slap together all my Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Return reviews and me summering up MMPR as well. But we'll see what happens. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for this panel? I think it's happening at like 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that will be like early in the morning for me on a Saturday, so I'll probably be hovering around my computer to talk about that news, that is for sure. But what do you guys think? Like I said, I'm sad that the comics are ending. Like, I've always got that hope out there that we'll see more Power Ranger comics in the nearby future, because, you know, the Power Ranger comics have been really great. Even if you stopped reading after Shattered Grid, they've still been great. What are you doing? Go read the Power Ranger comics. But we'll see what happens. But with that said, I will see you guys later. Peace out, take care, and bye.